So there are a lot of things that I can put up with, but a ghost pinching me on my behind is not one of them. Well, hello, my spooky friends. How are you doing today? I hope you're having a great day. Yeah, I'm filming several videos with the hurricane winds just blowing, and yeah, it's been a challenge. And in between, I had a conversation with Scully, and he did admit that he has been trying online dating. I guess there's no end to that. I can kind of get it though. I mean, he wants maybe some companionship closer to his own age or something. I don't know. But he did tell me he has been talking seriously with someone else. She's a good Southern belle now, so I can't complain about that. Apparently, her name is Scarlett O'Hara. Yeah. So you know, guess that he and Miss O'Hara have kind of developed a thing. And I mean, I don't know where this is going, but, hey, I think it's great. Get out, live a little, or something like that, right? Okay, but today we are going to tell you some more ghost stories, and these are from letters you have sent me. Now, I have two viewers who sent me several stories, and I'm going to kind of go back and forth. This is from Roberta Real and also Suzanne V. And I think you're going to love these. So let's dive on in. Okay, we're going to start with one by Suzanne. I love this. My aunt is 100, and her and my mom and their mom lived on South Ninth Street in Brooklyn, New York City, by the Navy Yards. My grandmom was a super in the old brownstone that used to be an old sailor's inn because that area is near docks, and those docks are very old. But at the time they lived there, it was just a small apartment building. My aunt, my mother, and their brother saw ghosts often, and the favorite one was a captain who was unalived. Can kind of read that. He himself in the basement. He used to pull the cover off my great grandmother from Ireland. Liked her and would pinch her butt and kiss her cheek at night. Well, at least she wasn't lonely, I guess, right? Oh my God. I can't. I can't. But my aunt and mom and my uncle were playing in the basement when suddenly a brick came flying out of the wall. Oh my goodness. And as kids do, they were curiously looking into the wall and found a small treasure of gold and watches and jewels and money and gold coins. They think it was the captain. He likes them. Now, the question is, would I accept a little butt pinching and a kiss on the cheek if showed me hidden treasure? I don't know. I don't know. It's tempting for sure. How much gold? I just I'm sorry. I had to ask. Yeah, y'all know I'm not into the butt pinching and all this touching and stuff. Man, a little kiss on the cheek. No, no, I'm out even on that. I'm sorry. You have to be living for for all that. But hey, you got something out of it. And like I said, grandma wasn't lonely, right? She probably felt like she had somebody there with her all the time. I don't know. How would y'all handle something like that? Would it unnerve you like it does me? Okay, let's go on to the next story. This one is by Roberta Real. When I was a little girl, my grandparents owned a triplex. All three apartments were occupied by family. Oh, that is really cool. I love that idea. I have many fond memories there. Years later, after I got married, we were looking for a new place to live. Driving past the old triplex, I saw for rent sign in the apartment my aunt and uncle lived in, and I jumped at the chance. Not long after we moved in, weird things started to happen. One Saturday night, I was in bed watching TV and my husband was already asleep. I heard the kitchen door open and close, then footsteps walking through the kitchen towards my bedroom. I'm quietly trying to shake my husband awake, which, of course, he doesn't. My cat's ears went up, and she turned and gave me the look of, "Did you hear that too?" She got up very cautiously with all her fur fluffed out. Yeah, that's the sign. When your cat gets fluffed and scared, it is a thing. Okay, something's going on. I was scared and she was too, but she was brave enough to go check it out. She slowly makes her way out of the bedroom into the hall, looks in the kitchen, and poof, like that, she's not scared. Unfluffs, trots back into the bedroom, and jumps on my bed like nothing had ever happened. I'm still freaked out, but eventually I fall back asleep. Well, I mean, I guess if the cat's okay with it, we should be. I'm not sure. Let's keep reading. The next day, my parents' grandmother, who had owned the building previously and lived in one of the other apartments, along with the aunt and uncle that lived in the same one we were renting, came over for dinner. I'm telling them about what happened the night before when my mom and aunt both say, "Is that still going on?" Still going on? What does that mean? Still going on. My mother and aunt proceeded to tell me how my aunt would be in the spare room sewing while she waited for my uncle to come home from working swing shift. She would hear the kitchen door open, close, and footsteps walking through towards the back of the apartment where she was. She'd call out, "Billy, is that you?" No answer. She'd call out again. No answer again. This really scared her, so she'd run out the back door over to my grandmother's apartment. If we were visiting, my dad would go over and check things out, but never found anyone. This happened so often, she eventually got used to it. I never knew any of that. I used to sleep over there a lot. Not once did I ever hear any of them talking about it. Maybe that was a good thing. Yeah, sometimes that is a good thing. The less you know, not the more you know. The less you know, the happier you are. But this story isn't finished yet. In my first story, I told about hearing the kitchen door open and close with the sound of footsteps. This was the second incident. It was early on a Sunday night, and my husband was getting ready to return movies back to the video store. Yes, this was the 80s. My husband went into the bedroom to put on his shoes, grab his wallet and keys. Typically, when he emptied his pockets, everything was in the same spot on the dresser. He saw his pocket change and wallet, but no keys. He asked me if I had seen his keys, so I got up from the sofa in the living room and went to the bedroom to help him search. They were nowhere. Not the dresser, floor, under the bed, nowhere. While we were looking, we both heard the jingle of keys coming from the living room. I could feel every hair on my body standing upright like a cat. We both ran back into the living room just in time to see the keys drop from mid-air onto the floor. My poor cat Rosie was hiding under the coffee table, scared. My husband picked up the keys and they were ice cold. It was weird. After he left and I sat with my back against the wall, then it occurred to me, if this thing can pick up keys, it can go through a wall. Yeah, that is unnerving, but I'll tell you what, I don't know if you've heard the story of my house and my son when my oldest son, when he came to visit, the house stole his keys for almost 24 hours before the keys were returned. And it was the same thing. We're all there, and from midair, the keys drop onto the stairs and then they bounce onto the floor. It was crazy, insane. We had looked for hours for those keys. They've hidden my glasses before. Yeah, that's a whole nother story. And it's almost like, are the ghosts just showing you what tricks they can do? Again, something I need to be prepared for in the afterlife. Is there a guide? Does somebody teach you how you can do this to people? I don't know. I guess we're going to find out. This next one is also by Suzanne V. First, I must say I just love you so much. Aw, thank you. We're about the same age, and don't be insulted, but you look real similar to my mom and her and I were really into ghost stories. Oh, I think that's sweet. I'm not insulted at all. That's how I stopped to listen to your stories first. Now I'm just addicted. Oh, that is so funny. I sent you a story you read about my dad, Paul, who was a truck driver. Yes, that was an incredible, sweet, amazing story. And that was a couple videos back. Y'all, if you haven't heard that one, you've got to hear it. I was so thrilled because the dead hear us and know when we talk about them, and it makes them happy. So thank you so dearly. Now here's my other story. Now, okay, just a second. I did not know. I've never heard that. They are thrilled when we talk about them. Well, I'm going to tell you something. If Paul hears this, he was clearly an amazing person, and that was such a great. The whole story was amazing. So I hope I can put a smile on some spirit's face. Okay, the last day of my mom. First, I'm a traditional Catholic, and we're not scared of spirits. We firmly believe in the other side and even try to help souls go to the right place. Anyway, my mom, Catherine, was 97 and living in an adult home in Peekskill, New York, and I was living in Brooklyn, far from her, and worse still, it was the lockdown. So I was not allowed to go to her. Oh my gosh, that was such a horrible time. So all I could do is pray for her. One night at 7 p.m., I went to this chapel of perpetual adoration near my house, and I go to a prayer group there on a Tuesday night. I came early so I could be alone with Jesus' Eucharistic presence alone, just him and I, when suddenly this amazing heavenly sensation came over me. I felt so happy, so safe and euphoric, like I had never felt before. I have said very long novenas. Those are prayers. And Jesus has promises attached to them. And one promise was that I would be informed somehow 14 days before I will die that my time is coming so I can prepare. So when this overwhelming feeling of divine joy and peace came over me, I thought it was Jesus telling me my time is coming. So I said to the Lord, "Yes, Lord, I'm ready. Thanks for your grace." And I kept silent when the others came in, but this delightful feeling persisted all night. When the next morning came, I decided to call my mom and tell her I was going before her and will wait on the other side for her. When I called the adult home to get my mom, the nurse said, "Oh dear, no one told you yet." I said, "Told me what?" She said, "Your mom passed away last night about 7 p.m., but she was peaceful and it was easy for her." I hung up shocked and a bit sad that my brother did not let me know and it wasn't me who was going. So you're sad that you're not, hey, I feel you. Some days I feel like that. Oh, well, I guess that pleasant feeling was my mom telling me she was leaving, and I felt good because obviously it was a very heavenly feeling. So I assumed she was in a good place, and I was glad she could reach me in such a way. Truly a divine favor. That is a lovely story. But now this got me to thinking, would you want a 14-day heads up? That you were going to pass. I don't know if I would. As a matter of fact, I had a conversation with my daughter last week, and we were talking about if you had the ability to know when you would die or how you would die, which one would you rather know? And she said, I would rather know when. And I'm like, I don't want to know either. I don't want to know how. I don't want to know when. I just want it to be a complete surprise. I mean, although there's a lot that can be said about knowing because, then you can prepare. Maybe we should just be, kind of prepared all the time. Yeah, I think I want that to remain a secret. It's okay. But that's just me. This next one is by Roberta Real again. My parents have been great friends with another couple I'll refer to as P for the woman and J for the man. The four of them even used to double date before they married, but after P passed away in 93, my parents didn't see J as much and then lost all contact. One night I'm sleeping when Jay came to me in a dream. I was a bit surprised to see him since it had been so long. Jay was always a generally good natured and happy man, but this time Jay was super over the top happy. He said, "Guess what? I died." He was over the moon elated, as though he had won the lottery. I told my parents about the dream, and we all agreed it was weird. Less than a week later, I got an email from his daughter, W, telling us of her dad's passing. I talked to W and told her about the dream. As it turns out, Jay was hospitalized and had been in a coma the same week I had the dream. I have heard that when someone is in a coma, their souls have already left their body, even if they're still alive. Maybe so. So I guess this one is really kind of a premonition, or I don't know, would you call it a premonition? Or did they actually come into your dream and say, hey, guess what? I died. I'm glad he was happy. And I can understand if you are going to a good place, I imagine I will be overjoyed as well. So I think that is a really cool story. I mean, sometimes we think of dreams and premonitions like this as scary, but they don't have to be. Obviously, this was good news. All right. That is our last story for today. I've got tons of stuff I'm working on, and I hope that you have a great day, week, night, whatever this is. Please let Scully know what you think about his online dating, stuff. Just curious. Are y'all okay with it, or does it make you uncomfortable? Anyway, whatever you do, just stay spooky. Bye bye.